is up, Flyover family? Jalen and Saquon just led us back into the Super Bowl with the 55-23 32-point win over the Washington Commanders in the NFC Championship game. BG, he might return for the Super Bowl. Lots of team news, or however the case, and obviously, last but not least, Super Bowl preview. So first and foremost, let's just fly on into it. So because of how good we played, I do have to do the reaction a little bit differently due to the fact that obviously a 32-point win. I mean, it's hard to find stuff negative about offensively or defensively if you only allow 23 points and you put up 55 and you're up 32. It's hard to nitpick, especially if it's never been done. The highest ever scoring conference championship game was 49, and that was, I believe, in Cam Newton's time in like 2015, 2016. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, definitely hard to find stuff negative. Especially when 7 rushing touchdowns is an NFL playoff record. Absolutely good to see. Barkley, he had 3. Jalen Hurts, he had 3. Will Shipley, he had 1. Pretty sure that's his first career touchdown. Absolutely excited for him. Defensively speaking, we generated 4 turnovers, especially in a conference championship game. That's exciting. One interception by Quinyon Mitchell. He did the little scary Terry, little peekaboo or whatever the case. Heck yeah, it was absolutely good to see there. And also 3 fumble recoveries. One off of Manny Lickles, or however you pronounce his name, Austin Eckler, and Jerome Brown, or however you pronounce his name, or whatever his name is. And again, yeah, Jalen, he absolutely balled out. He had 4 total touchdowns, 20 for 28, which is 71% completion, 246 passing yards with no turnovers. So he played a good, clean game. Absolutely exciting to see. Most playoff games with no interception was 7. That's another NFL record that he posted up. Overall, it was just a defensive Fangio masterclass. Again, Quinyon Mitchell got a pick. Nolan Smith, he got a sack. Oren Burks, he got 9 tackles and a sack. Zach Bond, he had 12 tackles. Overall, it was just a pretty good game for everybody all around. It was one of the more complete games that I've seen this season, and of the Nick Sirianni era to begin with. Because I don't remember last time we've touched 50 points. It's been a while. For Saquon Barkley, he's obviously a beast. His details, 15 carries for 118 yards. He had at least 2 60-yard runs on the first 2 drives opening the game. So definitely, some heavy momentum there. Shipley, he had 4 carries for 1 touchdown. And he had 77 yards. Absolute beast. For being a rookie and, obviously being like the 3rd running back or however the case. Dallas Goedert, he got some carries. As crazy as it is, Dallas Goedert got some carries. 2 carries. I know it's only 2, but he's a tight end, and it actually worked. It actually looked pretty good. It looked like it made sense. And he got like 13 yards. Gainwell, obviously, he had 3 carries for 8 yards. He got injured. I believe it was like a leg or a concussion or something. Smitty, there was like a couple shovel passes. I think I seen like 2 or 3, but I'll basically say that they're running plays. They're basically behind the line of scrimmage. So yeah, basically running plays. So. In my opinion, this was the best game planned, best offensively coached game that I've seen this year. So yeah, Kellen and Nick do deserve credit, or however the case. Absolutely they do deserve credit. But at the same time, we need to win the Super Bowl. Because Sirianni and Kellen, that they have to out coach Andy Reid and Spagnuolo. Absolutely they do. We can't leave it up to the refs, so we kind of have to schedule a blowout or however the case, find a way to keep them off the field somehow, some way, to generate a lot of interceptions, a lot of turnovers, a lot of fumbles and fumble recoveries and whatnot. Because if we lose the whole season as a whole, it's a waste. The whole 2K say and everything as a whole, it's a waste. If the defense chokes up a lot of points in the second half, I'm sorry, cut and trade everyone on the defense. I'm sorry. This is whenever, we need the defense to show up the most. I don't care, we'll all season. No, we need a ring. Number 1 defense should be able to get you a ring. And we were talking about, if we'd be top 15, that'd be enough. If we were top 5, we'd be enough. That's what everyone was saying in all the chats. So if we don't win, man, sorry. But man, just be a waste of a season. So yeah, Jalen Hurts in the pocket. This game, he was 18 for 20, 216 yards, 1 touchdown. For all the people who say he can't pass and he's not good enough, it's right there. When there's average plays and whatnot, and not just 5th grade plays that anyone can figure out. Jalen Hurts versus the blitz, he even got better there. 7 for 13, 116 yards, 84.1 rating. This postseason in general in the pocket, he's 38 for 50, 76% completion, 3 touchdowns, 118.3 rating. Clearly he can throw. Clearly. multiple playoff games, or however the case, 38 for 50. In multiple playoff games, and in the wild card round, in the divisional, and the conference, that's 3 games, and 3 games to do it 50 times. That's not a bad sample size. 38 for 50. That's not bad. If you have Saquon Barkley and he's healthy, I mean, you shouldn't be throwing it much more than that. So I mean, that is just about right. Time for Landon Dickerson and whatnot, and Cam Jurgens, because there is 2 weeks until the Super Bowl, or however the case. Um, to get back to as close to 100% as possible. Obviously, same for the rest of the O line and the D line, or however the case. Time for Saquon to maintain his freshness. Clearly, he's fresh. He's good. He's good for the most part. I mean, he might be he might be like a little banged up a little bit, but for the most part, he's pretty freaking fresh. Especially, 3 touchdowns, 118 yards. I mean, can't get much fresher than that in the playoffs. So definitely time for Jalen, AJ, Barkley, Sirianni, Smitty, Kellen, the O line, Fangio, the defense as a whole. So the D line, the secondary, the linebackers, special teams, to all game plan specifically how to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs and Andy Reid and Spagnuolo. And I think everyone should have some sort of thing, or however the case, on how they can beat them, how they can keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, and keep their offense off the field and keep the Eagles' offense on the field. So yeah, definitely ask Coach Belichick. Definitely ask everyone in Tampa how they did the 31-9. Ask everyone involved how they did it. Again, Brandon Graham is off IR, so hopefully he still has a couple clutch plays left in him. I don't know exactly how much plays he's gonna play, or how many snaps he's gonna do, but he did say he's feeling pretty well and whatnot, and that he doesn't expect to be on any snap restriction. If he plays, he's gonna go 100%. Give everything he got, leave it all on the field, and go from there. So, that being said, I think it's time for a little bit of a Super Bowl preview. Again, there is a 2-week bye week and whatnot. So the Super Bowl lead ref is going to be Ron Torbert. The Eagles are 2-0 with him refereeing this year, 5-3 overall. So I don't know when he started refereeing, or however the case, or if it's in the Jalen Hurts era. So I don't know, but this year 2-0. Mahomes is 2-1. Probably like the Denver game, or however the case, another 15-2. So I don't know what other game he lost, but I know it was pretty close. So last few games, KC struggled defensively, on the run, or however the case. They gave up 5.6 per carry this postseason, and obviously they have not faced the Eagles' defensive line. I'm sorry, the Buffalo Bills is nowhere near the Eagles' offensive line. The running back, nowhere near Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry. It's just true. 2,005 yards. I mean, just saying. Not a lot of people make 2,000. They get 2,000 rushing yards. I'm just saying, in a single season. It doesn't really happen that often. And he looks pretty unhealthy now. So I mean. Spagnuolo, like I said, he is up there with any all-time great defensive coordinator and whatnot. He's great at disguising blitzes, pressures, and he's also great at designing plays to get to the quarterback. I think we have the advantage in terms of having AJ Brown and Devontae Smith in terms of their secondary versus our wide receivers. I think we have the advantage in that matchup. Andy Reid, obviously, he's up there with Belichick, or however the case. He's an offensive genius. He's a trick play expert. This will definitely be our hardest win game, that I believe, we've had in a while. So yeah, and obviously Mahomes is Mahomes, Travis Kelce's Travis Kelce, and hopefully, we can just slow them down enough and stop them from scoring enough times, just like in 2017, where we won, I believe it was 41-37, I think. But yeah, hopefully, we can just do enough to win. Hopefully we blow them out. Hopefully that would be nice, but hopefully we can just win in general. So yeah, we are going to be playing in Midnight Green. Malata, he did say that there is a revenge factor there. Jalen's lock screen that also supports that. It's him walking off the field after the 2022 Super Bowl loss, and I believe we have gotten better. I believe we have a better running back than we did then. I believe we have a better defense than we had then. Minus the sack numbers, I think our DBs are better. I think our linebackers are better. I personally think our defensive coordinator actually wants to stay here and whatnot. So I think he's locked in, or however the case, for the Chiefs. So I think we have a better chance on that note from a coordinator perspective, because he did get a head coaching job, or however the case. Jonathan Gannon. And I believe Jalen's gotten better as well. I believe he's better at making decisions at the line. I believe he's better at dealing with better at dealing with the blitz and whatnot. Um, but yeah, overall, I think it comes down to the defense stopping Mahomes. I don't think they'll be able to stop our offense. It just comes down to the defense choking the game away in late in the game. That's what it comes down to. We have to get stops on them. No other way around it, or else they're going to score every single time or however, and then it's going to come down to the last possession. If it's not like a 3 or 4 score game, by the time 2 or 3 minutes comes or however the case, then I don't know. I think it's below 50% that we win. We have the talent to, but it just depends if the coordinators and coaching staff can, dial something up to capitalize on it. Really, I think Fangio can. I think in terms of talent collectively on one team, one individual year, I think this would be one of his best defensive teams that he's had. Early draft picks that panned out, free agent signings that panned out. Needless to say, Zach Bond, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, not Johnson, but C.J. Gardner-Johnson in terms of the free agent signings, obviously, on the defensive side. Obviously, in terms of draft picks working out, Jordan Davis, he's took a big step forward. Jalen Carter's took a huge step forward. Josh Sweat, he's had 8 sacks this year, so he definitely deserves a lot of respect in terms of that. Jalen Hurts, I think he's, in terms of calling protections and whatnot, as we talked about in the preseason, this will be his first year doing that. I think he stepped up pretty darn good. He's audibled a lot of touchdowns, that, and I've like reported on a lot of them and whatnot, so he's definitely getting better there. But yeah, overall, like I said, the keys are no wasted drives. We have to get stops, and the no wasted drives. I mean that's on Kellen and Nick. Saquon was brought here and whatnot, $11 million back. I mean, you didn't bring him here to say, oh well, we think you're gonna be okay. No, he was paid $11 million or however the case to be, somewhat what he is or however the case. No one could have expected 2,000 yards. I didn't expect that. I was expecting 1,500, a little bit, couple hundred yards better than Swift and whatnot. Swift had 1,200 yards. I'm pretty sure he had that 1,200 yards at one point. But either way it goes. We were at least expecting to have a pretty solid year behind this O-line. Pretty great year. So yeah, definitely got our money's worth and then some. But yeah, definitely keep KC's offense on the field. No dumb penalties on offense. No dumb penalties on defense. No holding or however the case. Hopefully James Bradbury doesn't play. He was seen in a team meeting, but hopefully he doesn't play. Hopefully. Now for some general news. 21-day practice window opened for BG and CJ Uzoma, or however you pronounce it. BG was at practice today, stretching and whatnot, doing like little solo drills and whatnot. I didn't really see much other pictures or videos or whatever. I didn't see much, but he was in pads. He said it felt great and whatnot. His cardio is a lot better than what he was expecting, and that if he does end up playing based on what the medical staff says, that he's going to give it his all, and that's not going to be a snap restriction, not to take away from anybody else, but just to if anything or however the case. But AJ, he rested today, January 30th, for today's injury report. No Cam Jurgens or Dickerson. Obviously, that they both gutted it out and played last game. So definitely try to get them close to 100 as possible. So I definitely understand that. Eagles practicing in Philly today, tomorrow, on Friday, and then Saturday. And then Sunday afternoon, leaving for New Orleans. I believe they'll be there at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So, Sirianni, he did say that he's looking at the 2022 Super Bowl and that he already knows what he could do differently, and that he already has a lot of the game plan done or however the case. So apparently he was ready for a rematch or whatever the case. So hopefully it works out or however the case. If we don't win, I'm well, clearly it didn't work, and clearly if he already had notes and all that, clearly the notes are garbage. So. And then defensively, Fangio, come on, we need stops on Mahomes. Because, me personally, I'm not trying to sound negative, but I feel like if we can't win it this year, we just can't win it, period. The league will not let us win it at that point. Could have got the Bills or however the case, would have blown them out, could have had one Super Bowl, would have been the Chiefs' year. The Chiefs could have won the next 5, we just could have had one. Saquon could have been Finals MVP, just could have had 1 year, you know what I'm saying? And then, but I don't know. But on the bright side, Jalen Hurts, he is the first Eagles quarterback starter to go to 2 Super Bowls. Until he wins it, I don't care. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care about regular season glory and records and all that. I mean, did he win any of the two Super Bowls? Obviously, we're gonna see. So like, I'm not hating on him or however the case, but I mean, depending on how he plays and depending on how the team plays, you know, I already have a video for either way. If we win or however the case, heck yeah, you know what I'm saying. They didn't waste the season. I'm sorry, Nick Sirianni. I'm sorry, Kellen Moore. I'm sorry, Vic Fangio. But. You guys actually can get stops when we need it the most. Because I don't know, it just feels like our defense collapses whenever we need it the most. That's what happened last Super Bowl versus the Chiefs. They still got Travis Kelce. They still got Patrick Mahomes. They still got Spagnuolo. They still have their same offensive coordinator in Andy Reid. 22 points in the second half, 17 in the fourth quarter. I gotta see it. I believe in the offense. I've been saying the whole video. I do not think that they can stop our offense. But I don't think we can stop their offense either because they got Mahomes and the refs and Roger Goodell and I don't know. Hopefully we win. That's all I can say in terms of that. But yeah, Cam Jurgens, he did say he will play in the Super Bowl and whatnot. That he's ready to go. Or that he will be ready to go. Sorry, he said I will be ready to go, saying that he will be. So I mean, kind of take that with a grain of salt. But Lane Johnson, he's the only Eagles O lineman to go to the Super Bowl 3 times. I mean, considering the first one was in the 80s, and then the second one I believe was in 04 with McNabb, and then in 2017 with Foles and Carson Wentz, and then 2022 with Jalen, and then obviously now, so that'd be 17, 20, 22, and 24. I believe would be his 3 Super Bowl appearances. Excuse me. So yeah, everyone's saying it's a time to give Nick flowers. I mean, until he wins the Super Bowl, heck no. Until then, I mean, Doug Peterson's still the greatest Eagles coach of all time because he was the only coach of all time to be good enough to get a Super Bowl. Just saying, nobody else was. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. Until he gets Super Bowl, I mean, he's perfectly rated where he's at. Don't be sure of him or however case he's not that good. Until he wins Super Bowl, until he can be, qualified coach or however case with qualified talent. I mean, you got to scheme, you got to use intelligence, I mean, if you don't got it, then, I mean, you shouldn't be a coach. And so far, is what he's shown. Because he's not a defensive guru. He's not an offensive guru, so. And AJ, he did say during a stream with one of the popular commanders, gamers or whatever the case, he's a gamer on YouTube that supports the Washington Commanders. But anyways, he did say he missed a signal for a 40-yard touchdown from Jalen after the Austin Eckler fumble. I thought that was interesting, or however the case, due to the fact that usually he's always open and he's always super alert and that kind of thing. But final thoughts. My final conclusion being, I think the key to winning, again, is blowing them out or however the case. If it is a close game, we have to have the ball last or however the case. On a long touchdown drive, brotherly shove or however, not a brotherly shove, or Saquon clearly gets the touchdown. I don't care who gets the Super Bowl MVP. I don't care how it looks or however the case, but we got to win. Preferably by blowout or however the case, so it doesn't come down to Mahomes and the refs. But, if we can't do that, we definitely have to shut down second half of Mahomes. As I've been saying all video, I think it's going to come down to how our defense plays in the second half and how many points we allow in the second half. Because I think we'll definitely have a lead. I don't think they'll stop our offense, but I think it's going to come down to us stopping their offense. That's what I think it's going to come down to. That's what it came down to last year. If we would have stopped them, if we would have got 2 stops in the second half, because I rewatched it all, and they scored almost every single time in the second half that they had the ball. Can't allow that this time. I understand we have better DBs and all that, but I still got to see it. It's still Patrick Mahomes. Respect is where respect is due. He has 3 rings. Jalen has 0. Sorry to tell you. So yeah, I'm definitely nervous or however the case. I mean, obviously I got my Eagles or however the case. I'll never pick a team over my Eagles, but man, we just need to win a ring. I can't stress that enough. We need to win it. If not, I mean, it's definitely looked like a choke job because I mean we have the talent. We have the O-line too. We have the defensive line. We have a pretty good wide receivers. We have pretty good tight ends. We have a great running back. We have a great linebacker. We have pretty great cornerbacks and DBs and safeties and all that good stuff. And we have a pretty great defensive coordinator. It just comes down to stopping Mahomes. That's what it comes down to. In my opinion, we just don't have the right head coach, in my opinion. I think if we lose, it'll be because of him, in my opinion, or the defense are choking. In my opinion, those are the only two ways we lose. That's just me being confident. In my opinion, the only way we lose is by Nick Sirianni not being good enough, or Kellen Moore, however the case, not being good enough, or if the defense just chokes again, or if the defense chokes up heck of points in the second half. Again, last time we faced off, I mean, for the most part, I mean, if anything, they've gotten better. I mean, they have DeAndre Hopkins, they have a early wide receiver pick, or however the case. So, but yeah, it comes down to Nick Sirianni being good enough, or however the case, and in terms of scheming and making adjustments and things of that nature. And it comes down to the defense getting enough stops late in the game. That's what it comes down to. But yeah, that being said, that's what I think personally. Final score prediction, I think if everything's called fair and there's no BS or however the case, because it's not that one annoying ref or however that we have no chance against winning or however the case like it was the first time. I'm pretty sure, but whatchamacallit, if it's all fair and whatnot, then I mean I believe we'll win 35-15. I mean if there's BS or however the case, I mean Chiefs win. I mean I hate to say it, you know what I'm saying, but I mean, you know, it's like Michael Jordan. You can't touch him or it's a foul. You can't breathe on him, it's a foul. You know, you can't tackle him, it's a foul. You know, but thank you guys so much for watching. Obviously, hope we win the Super Bowl, because if not, it'll be a wasted season and whatnot, and you know, it'll be like super hard to accept whatever happens next season or however the case. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, really do appreciate it. God bless. Philly out. Peace.